Hey students, uh, hope you all are fine. So, hopefully, you have read the first portion of your history chapter. Okay, the name of the chapter was Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. Okay, so first portion we have already read, and as I'm telling that first time you are reading the history, so please be serious with this subject. Okay, so today we will start the second portion of the chapter. As I said, this is quite a large chapter and I have divided it into a few sections. So today we will finish another portion. Before I start the chapter reading explanation, I want to say that think about the time when there was no printing press. So what the people has to do, basically those who were learned people, they used to make copies by their hands. Okay, these are called manuscript, means they are writing the things with their hands because printing press was not there, and there were people those who are known as the scribes because they have to make copies, 100 copies or more than that or less than that also, from that particular manuscript. So what the things was happening, that suppose I have written something. Okay, you haven't understood what I have written. In this way you are, when you are following that, you are writing in a different manner. So through the ages, when these changes are happening, some meanings are also very difficult for the historians also to understand. These type of things used to happen at that time. We basically we will focus on these things, that the portion is historians and their sources. So definitely if there are historians, they have some sources from where they will get the all the materials. Okay, so, through which we will be informed by them that what is going on. And history means, I said, this is a time that is always changing. So definitely how the changes become a quite difficult thing for the historians to understand, that you need to know. And why the historians always have to read a lot about the things, or you can say simply that from the beginning they have to do it. That also here it is written, when I will read you can easily understand. Okay, so let's read. You open your book and just follow my reading, and explanation is very important for you to make understand. Historians use different types of sources to learn about the past depending upon the period of their study and the nature of their investigation. Means the first line, see, one thing is mentioned, that is the period. Means so many periods are there, ancient periods, then more medieval periods, then the modern periods came in between. So many dynasties came into action. Those who were doing ruling parties were there. So about which period they are doing the work, or on which matter they are giving the emphasis, means for the investigation, that is also a matter. Okay, last year for example you read about rulers of the Gupta dynasty and Harshavardhana. In this book we will read about the following 1,000 years, from roughly 700 to 1750. Okay, about this time period we will read. Now in between there is a line, that is the Gupta dynasty. Definitely this is first. So one thing I want to tell about the Gupta dynasty, though I will not go in elaborate. So that is Gupta dynasty was established by Sri Gupta, Sri SRI. Okay, his name was Sri Gupta, and one of the greatest ruler of this period was Samudra Gupta. Samudra Gupta. Okay, so one coin was also there where the picture of Samudra Gupta was depicted with string instrument he was playing. He was very very much he had very knowledge about these things, and he loved to do these things. So on one coin is also became very famous or popular at that time. So second stanza, you will notice some continuity in the sources used by historians for the study of the period. They still rely on coins, inscription. Now, rely means to believe, okay, on coins, inscriptions, then architecture and textual records for information. But there is also considerable discontinuity. Means when they are continuously reading something, they can rely definitely on coins, because you cannot change the coins. Then inscription means what is marked on the stone or some hard surface, that is also remain the same thing. Then architecture means the pattern, textual record information about these things. But discontinuity was also there, means something was there which means came into changes. Okay, these things remain the same, but some changes were also there. The number and variety of the textual records increased dramatically during this period. During this period means from 700 to 1750. Between this time period, variety of textual records increased dramatically during this period. They slowly displaced other types of available information. Though this period, paper gradually became cheaper and more widely available. So in this time period, the paper became cheaper, means less costly, so it became available. So when things were changing, some people they thought it is better to keep record through writing. People used to write holy text, chronicles of the rulers. Chronicles means timeline, from which time to which time they have ruled. Okay, and then letters and teachings of saints. Petitions means you can say that is appeal, that is an appeal, or you can also say that formal writing or requesting, means formal writing through request. And judicial records, and for registers of accounts and taxes. Okay, for these things they used to keep the record in the papers, means they started writing the manuscript. Manuscript means manual script. Manual means through your hand, and script means where you are writing. Manuscripts were collected by wealthy people, rulers, monasteries, and temples. Okay, the Buddhists use the monasteries. So this type of means this type of person, or by this means centers, the manuscripts were started being collected. They were placed in libraries and archives. Now, what is library? You can easily understand. About archives, there is one note, that is a place where documents when manuscripts are stored. Today, all national and state governments have archives where they will keep their old official records and transactions. So you can understand what's the meaning, means it's a place, a safe place where they can keep their old things in a safe way. These manuscripts and documents provide a lot of detailed information to historians, but they are also difficult to use. Definitely, if it is manuscript, means some written things are there, they can read it easily and they can rely. But it is written that there were some difficulties there. What is the difficulties that I was telling you before? See the next stanza. There were no printing press in those days, so scribes copies manuscript by hand. Printing press was not there, so from one manuscript, the scribe started to make copies, 100 and more than 100 copies. If you have ever copied a friend's homework, you would know that this is not a simple exercise. Sometimes you cannot read your friend's handwriting, and are forced to guess what is written. As a result, there are some small but significant differences in your copy of your friend's work. Definitely, when we are copying from others, we are trying to make copy from others. If we can't understand their handwriting, so something is changing. So gradually, small change to small change means one scribes is making one change, then from there to another one is doing the same work. There is also small change. So this, due to the small changes, they are not similar with the manuscripts. Now there is coming the difficulties. Okay, manuscript copying is somewhat similar. As scribes copied manuscript, they also introduce small changes, a word here, a sentence there, something they also tried to change. Okay, the small differences grew over centuries of copying until manuscripts of the same text became substantially different from one another. So, what happened after going through a certain time? Um, Definitely the first one and the last one, if we compare them both, there is definitely a big change is there. This is a serious problem because we rarely find the original manuscript of the author today. We are totally dependent upon the copies made by later scribes. As a result, historians have to read different manuscript versions of the same text to guess what the author has originally written. So what is the point now? The manuscript, this is the oldest things, this is the main things, the oldest things. So definitely it was very hard to find out that manuscript, rather it was easy to get the what the scribes used to do. So changes are there for a single thing. Different scribes have done their work. They have to, all historians have to go through this all the things to get understand a particular thing. Now you can understand how difficult it is for them to do the same thing. Okay. On occasion, authors revised their chronicles at different times. The 14th century chronicler Ziauddin Baroni wrote his chronicles first in 1356 and another version 2 years later. The two differ from each other, but historians did not know about the existence of the first version until the 1960s. Huge difference is there. That Ziauddin Baroni, one famous chronicler who used to keep the record, he first wrote in 1356. After 2 years, he changes or added, or you can say updated the things. But the historians haven't understood, means they had not any idea about the thing that there were existence of portion that was written first. So they were only working the second one. So for them now it is very obvious to understand the first one also, what was written there and what were the changes he has made for within these 2 years. So it is a quite long time from 1356 to 1960s. Okay, it remained lost in large library collections. So what happened? So the first edition remained lost. Why remained lost? Because there are thousand and thousand books are there. So it is very difficult to go through everything and to find out that thing, and that things are kept it properly or not, where it is kept, that is also matter of consideration. So it is very difficult for the historians also, as things going to change, or things were changing continuously. So how they have to work, you will understand. There is some pictures are also there, so if you go through the chapter you can easily understand. But yeah, read it carefully, hopefully you can understand. If you have any problem, then let me know. Okay, till then, take care students, and definitely read the chapter again and again. Listen, watch the previous video and this one also, and read read up to this for 3 to 4 times, otherwise it will be quite difficult for you to understand. Take care. Bye bye. Okay.